You know, is there going to be, and you said it's a pilot, so you're going to start
again, that's right. We're going to identify a third party as it relates to the revolving loan fund piece. The cash incentive pool is something that we're already doing, but we're doing it for attracting businesses as opposed to retaining businesses. And to your point, one thing I would want to add is, you know, at least from my school of thought and how I've been taught in economic development, that the majority of your growth happens with existing businesses. The economic impact resides when a business that's already in your community expands. What we're saying is we want something to be prepared for that expansion and and play a role in that. Now, this is not going to be a huge cash pool that is going to have the same level of effect of attracting an Amazon to your community. However, for someone who needs a refrigerator and they're cash strapped, the city can play a role in financing that and or providing some resources so that they can have that piece of equipment and or hire that additional staff person to be able to serve our community still.
Okay, so you'll have some third-party administration of the revolving loan fund?
Of the revolving loan fund. That's correct.
All the deals will come before the city council?
Yes, ma'am.
And then my other question was about declaring a piece of property surplus. Is there a process? I know back in the olden days, and I know things change, you know, in order for a city-owned asset to be declared surplus, all these different departments had to sign off and say it's no longer needed for a municipal purpose. So what's the process for saying, okay, this piece of property, just because we own it, and maybe it's empty, but nobody needs it?
Sure. Well, we have a property committee, and until, and what I can say is, until we have a written definition, what we're prioritizing are the ones that are brownfields, that are blight, and are in serious disrepair, that have the greatest opportunity to be redeployed and redeveloped.
Okay.
Okay. And I only have one question. Explain again. So it's 4% that goes to what again?
That would be the cash incentive pool, and then the 3% goes to the revolving loan fund.
Okay. Okay. Well, I only have that question. Is everybody good? Okay. There's been a motion and a second. All in favor say aye. Aye.
Thank you very much.
Passes. The next item is item 21 on page 7. A project agreement between the City of Birmingham and Mitchell Retail Properties, LLC, under which Mitchell Retail Properties will undertake a project to restore and refurbish the supermarket space formerly known as Winn-Dixie, located at 2257 Bessemer Road, Birmingham, including the purchase and installation of refrigerated merchandisers for fresh produce, fresh cut meat, luncheon meats, frozen foods, and dairy items, and the purchase and installation of all ovens, mixers, prep equipment, hot merchandisers, and refrigerated cases for a conventional deli bakery department, the installation of walk-in coolers, installation of shelving, the purchase and installation of an energy-efficient refrigeration rack system to power all refrigerated cases, the repair and refurbishment of current air conditioning for a supermarket space, the repair and refurbishment of electrical systems, and restoration of power to the building, the installation of a demising wall between the supermarket and future co-tenant space, the installation of new air conditioning in tenant space, and the purchase and installation of a new computer/point-of-sale system, all to accomplish the operation of a full-line supermarket and approximately 22,000 square feet of space. The city will provide an incentive in the amount of $640,000 in upfront leasehold improvements and a 10-year revenue sharing incentive based on a percentage of actual sales tax revenue following each year during the payment term of the agreement for an amount up to but not to exceed $1 million in support of the project. That was a lot.
Move the item.
Okay. Oh, you should just stayed up here.
Once again, Cornell Wesley served as the Director for the Department of Innovation and Economic Opportunity. I'm excited about this opportunity to stand before you once again in the beginning of Mayor Whiffin's first term. Council, along with the mayor, was charged with solving the food desert issue. There's been many attempts on the west side from Dansby Foods and several other different interested parties, but we could not pull it off. I'm delighted to say that we have an agreement in place that we hope you will support. So this is for the old Winn-Dixie on the west side. We're excited about bringing a food giant to that corridor. We have in our audience Mr. Jay Mitchell, the CEO of Mitchell Groceries, and it will have all, again, one of my favorite terms, accoutrements or amenities of all of the things that our community requested, from bakery as illuminated here to fresh seafood from a fresh meat department, floral, all of the things that they requested. With your help, we have answered. And so we're excited about it. If you have any specific questions as it pertains to the deal, I'm delighted to answer those and why we moved this. But I can tell you it was because you approved our CDA, and that $2 million that you charged us to deploy with the grocery store fund, there's enough resources there to get 2 and maybe 3 more wins for your respective districts. 69% of Birmingham is in the food desert, and at least one of them occurs in each and every one of your districts. And you are up next. So we're excited about this, and we look forward to continued success in the rest of the city of Birmingham.
Yeah, this is really good. I've been wondering when the Winn-Dixie was going to get replaced, so I'm happy to hear about that. Madam President?
Yes, I just want to thank you and your team, and of course with the direction of the mayor to make this possible. That grocery store has been sitting vacant for quite some time. Although it's not in District 7, I do drive through there and would stop there on Sunday evenings and often buy my Sunday dinner there. So I am excited to see that. We have Publix, but we'll never have too many grocery stores within for our residents. So this is very exciting, and that's all I just want to say. I don't have any questions. I just want to thank you.
Councilor Abbott?
Yeah, I just wanted you to remind me of the percentages, like on this $1 million. What is the percentage of
It is a 50% revenue share.
50%.
50% revenue share.
Okay. And is there a reason that it doesn't say that?
Probably just a typo, but on the record it is a 50% revenue share.
Okay, and this is a food giant.
Yes, ma'am, it is a food giant.
Okay, good. Thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
What is the name of the grocery store? Do we have it?
It will be Food Giant.
Food Giant, okay.
Food Giant.
Food Giant, I have not heard of that. Okay.
Food Giant used to be in Birmingham, actually, and this will be the first time it will actually return to the Birmingham city proper. It's currently in the region, but it will actually be back in Birmingham for, I believe, the first time in about 10 years? 12 years.
Okay. What is the pricing like for the foods that will be sold?
I'm sorry?
What's the pricing like? Save-A-Lot, Trader Joe's, Publix, really the top 3, Aldi, they sell food at different prices. So
Sure.
is it like, what is it going to be like?
I will allow Mr. Mitchell to speak to his pricing.
Not this, Mr. Mitchell.
Huh?
He said Mr. Mitchell, not that Mr. Mitchell.
Oh, we know. It's not you, Jazz.
Hello, I'm Jay Mitchell. We would be a conventional grocery store, so we would be, somewhere between a Walmart and a Publix. We might be above Walmart, but we do feature value pricing and that.
Okay. I guess when you decided the pricing, did you look at the average income of the neighborhood that surrounds it? Because that matters. We want to make sure that people can afford the food that's in the grocery store.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, okay. I'm going to let Councilor Clark ask some more questions.
Thank you. Welcome
Thank you.
to District 8. We're very excited. And I did visit your Adamsville store, and I saw some dehydrated mushrooms in the produce section. I was really excited.
Yes, ma'am.
I might have called Cornell and said, hey, they've got like all kinds of varieties of mushrooms
That's good.
So I was really impressed with that. But the community really does want full service in a grocery, and we're really excited that you're prepared to do that. Even if it's a very limited floral or something, they want to be able to get a plant and a birthday cake, and I think any kind of deli offerings and seafood. But I'm looking at your square footage and I'm just going, how are you going to do all that in such a small format? Now, your stores in the metro area that I've visited were very large. And so is this a new prototype for you? Or do you have a store this?
It's more of a return to an old prototype. So our average store as a company is about 25,000 feet.
About 25,000?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so this is not that far.
But, we do have 45 and 50,000 feet stores in the area, but with the economics of the last several years, the grocery business is trending back toward a slightly smaller footprint. But, we have many stores that we provide full hot deli, fresh bakery, full produce department, floral, and seafood in that size footprint. So
okay.
that is part of our plan. But and a lot of it a lot of it too is innovation that has come about in refrigeration and displays in the last several years, where when I started in the business, if you went in the produce department, you had one shelf in one cooler that ran for 48 feet. Now we have 5 shelves in that same case that we can get much more variety in the same square footage.
Okay. Well, we're all about efficiency.
Yes,
and
ma'am.
We're going to empty your shelves.
Well, thank you so much.
It does say in there Council Cart deli. So
A deli, yeah.
yes, so that's really good. Deli bakery, that's really good.
Deli with mushrooms.
Yeah, that's really good. Just one yeah. Everybody loves mushrooms, right? What's the timeline for this? When do you project to open?
Well, our agreement is we would be open by December 1st.
Oh, okay. Okay, that's good. Okay. All right, well, there's been a motion and a second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. That item passes. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
I know you are. I'm going to do one for you. Let's see, make sure. Okay. Item 23 on page 8, a purchase and sale agreement with Jefferson County, Alabama, under which the city will purchase Jefferson County's interest as a joint tenant in property located at 308th Avenue West, Birmingham, known as the former Graymont School, aka JCCEO headquarters property, for a purchase price of $150,000.
Move the item.
Second.
Attorney Smiley. Hey, good afternoon.
Afternoon, councilors.
Good afternoon.
Melissa Smiley. I'm serving as the Chief Accountability Officer for the Mayor's Office, and I'm here to speak on this item that's before you. I can give you some introductory information about the property. As you may know, it is the former... I can't do this microphone.
Thank you.
This property is the former Graymont School, and it has been occupied by the JCCEO since approximately 1995, thereabout. As of December, the JCCEO notified the city of Birmingham that they were having difficulties, and they have since mostly vacated the property. There's some personal property remaining that belongs to the JCCEO, but we expect that they will be completely vacated from the property very shortly. This property is jointly owned by the city of Birmingham and Jefferson County, and so what's before you is the city's attempt to have complete ownership of the property. We do not want to be in partnership with Jefferson County in the continued maintenance and operation of the site, but the mayor does have some ideas for how he wants the site to remain active and vibrant in the community.
Okay. Madam President?
Yes, thank you. I do know that I have been in the building on several occasions because it was a resource for civic organizations, service organizations. They did a lot of meeting in there, and so I know it was really used by the residents or the people around the building outside of what it was used for JCCO business. So you said the mayor had some ideas. Can you share just what might be use of that property?
Well, his plan is to continue to have the building be of service to the community. That's where his focus is. And so the fact that the JCCEO situation became as it did, Dyer, et cetera, does not mean that those services are not needed in the community. And so he wants to continue to program it so that it's a benefit to the community.
Okay. And would you say that that building is move-in ready? Or I know we're saying at this $150,000. The building seems to be in pretty good shape or up to date in most ways. Has there
yes,
been
ma'am.
that type of assessment?
I had occasion to visit the building. I went and looked at it on Friday in preparation for this meeting today, and I think it's in excellent condition considering its age and in comparison to other former school buildings that we've had.
Yeah.
This building it's in really, really good condition, and if you'd like to visit, that could be arranged.
And one last question. I know you have the physical building, which was the old school, and then there seems to be an annex or another building adjacent to it that you walk into. So it's all the property.
Yes,
Is that
ma'am. It's
correct?
It's about 3 acres, the whole campus. Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
And the one thing I do have to note as a caveat is that the county wants to retain in our deed a reversionary interest for 10 years.
Really?
So that would ensure that there is a municipal or a public use for the next 10 years.
Okay.
And then after that period, that reversion would go away. But if we decided, if the city wanted to, like these last deals that you've heard about, decide to sell it to a private entity for some other type of development, then the county would want to be a part of those discussions and have their 50% interest considered. But as long as it's a public or municipal use for the next 10 years, then it becomes the city's property without any reversionary interest to the county.
Thank you. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Okay, Councilor Abbott?
Yes, how did you arrive, or someone arrive at the price, the purchase price being $150,000? Is there an appraisal of the facility if we own 50% and they own 50%?
There is an appraisal of the facility. As you know, these types of negotiations can be a little touchy, and if you want to have more information about the value, then that would be something I'd suggest we perhaps go into an executive session and share with you the value of the property. But there was a negotiation of that price. We started even a lot lower than that, and we arrived at the $150,000 as a fair price for the city to acquire the land. I think you would be pleased.
Yeah, well, it sounds like a really good deal, and we don't have time, I don't think, to go into an executive session. Maybe we can do that at the council meeting.
Yeah.
I think so.
Because this does seem like, I was going to ask what percentages we owned and they owned, but if it was a 50-50 deal, 150, y'all did a good job.
I do have some photographs. If you want to see what some of the interior looks like, I did bring some photographs that I can share with you.
I've been in there fairly recently, and it looked very nice. I'd move in.
Councilor Clark, do you have anything?
I just wanted to ask if you have a sense of how many square feet.
38,000.
38,000 square feet. That's a lot of space.
If you add the annex, it's actually 41,000.
So have we looked at any old utility bills just to get a sense of what the heating and cooling, the space conditioning of that building's going to be?
We do have some information, and I can get you more details on that.
Yeah, I'd like to just kind of know, because we're going to have to operate it. It's going to have a cost to it, So, I think it's a great deal, and I think it needs to be active so that it can be secure, because it looks great now, but it might not if we don't get something going on in it.
And honestly, Counselor, that's one of the reasons we're moving pretty swiftly. The negotiations with the county began pretty much as soon as we found out that the JCCO was no longer in a position to continue to operate the building. And our goal is for the city to have full ownership so that we can do everything that we need to do to make sure the site is secure and that it doesn't turn into, a blight.
Okay, thank you.
You got, okay, Councilor Abbott.
Yeah, I did forget my other question, but I remembered it. Who is going to maintain this place? Who is going to secure it? If there's no one in the building, we all saw what happened to Caraway while it was sitting. How are we going to protect a vacant facility? Who's in charge?
Once we own it, the city will be handling the security, all of the maintenance. That will be a city responsibility. And if the council agrees today to recommend this action, then we plan to put the contract on the agenda for next Tuesday for the full council to consider it. I'll have you know, without going into so much detail about I know people are listening to this this whole discussion, but there are ways for the city to secure the property. We just need to have full ownership so that we make decisions unilaterally without waiting to consult with Jefferson County on how we split that responsibility.
Okay, well, you know our track record on protecting buildings, and that's my big concern, is that we own it, but then it turns into the usual.
Understood, Counselor, and I want to say to you that knowing that track record and that history is why we're moving so swiftly to try and resolve this joint ownership so that we can move swiftly to do what we need to do to protect the building.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, Madam President.
Oh, no, I'm just ready for the vote. Thank you.
Okay. There's been a motion and a second. All in favor say aye. Aye. Also, Attorney Smiley, you explained that very well. The joint tenant, you should teach property. I'm serious.
Her boss was watching her.
Look, I had to teach myself property for the bar. But okay, item 25 on page 9. An ordinance to amend the general fund budget for the fiscal year ending June 30th, 2022 by transferring $500,000 from the Department of Transportation grant expenditures and appropriating $500,000 to non-departmental transfer to Fund 102 Capital Improvement and amend the Capital Improvement Fund for the fiscal year ending June 30th, 2022 by appropriating $400,000 to DOT 102CP 003984 Finley Road access, $50,000 to DOT 102CP 3949 16th Street Corridor Streetscape, and $50,000 to DOT 102CP 003950 16th Street Connector Trail.
Move the item.
Second.
Is Mr. Fowler still here?
Well, I thought it was on consent. Did I read that wrong?
Did we put it on consent? Yeah.
Nope.
He was in here.
Yeah. I'll get them back down. I mean, what's your questions? I can answer them. You know I always got to answer for everything.
I know. Do y'all have any questions, Madam President?
I don't. Thank you.
Councilor Abbott?
Yeah, I would like to know what we're doing. Where is the Finley Road access? Is this access onto the interstate, or is this access somewhere else?
So this is in conjunction with the county and some third-party vendors that's dealing with the access road for the farmers market. So we're collaborating with them to have this funding in place so we can make a clean access road from Finley Boulevard all the way into the farmers market grocery, whatever. I don't know the technical name for it.
It's the
farmers market, yes.
Oh, that's good. That'll be helpful.
So if you're coming from the interstate, you don't have to do that
is
little
correct.
weird...
Yes, we'll have one exit road for that particular piece of property.
Okay, and the 16th Street Corridor Streetscape and Connector Trail, is that the thing that's supposed to go down 16th and have an elevator to go up over the railroad tracks and then come back down in the railroad part?
Yes, these are our matching funds with ALDOT. So what he's trying to do is that the funds are actually in his operating budget, because this is a long process to deal with ALDOT. We want to just go ahead and extract those from his budget and put them in project accounts for the grant match. So these funds they won't lapse. So we can go ahead and get the contracts and agreements done with ALDOT and the city of Birmingham.
Okay, so is that going up over the railroad tracks? Is that still in the plan, or did that fall by the wayside?
My understanding is still in the plan, but like I said, I'll get Mr. Fowler to write something up for you guys before it shows up on the council agenda for next Tuesday.
Okay, thank you.
Councilor Clark, do you have anything? Okay, there's been a motion and a second. All in favor say aye. Aye. The item passes. Now to our last item. Item number 26, an ordinance to amend the general fund budget for the fiscal year ending June 30th, 2022 by transferring $795,500 from Information Management Systems Technology and Maintenance and appropriating $795,500 to non-departmental transfer to Fund 102 Capital Improvement and amend the Capital Improvement Fund for the fiscal year ending June 30th, 2022 by appropriating $795,500 to IMS 102 CP 003871 IMS hardware/software.
Move the item.
Second. Hey.
Good afternoon, Council.
Good afternoon.
Patrick McClendon. This is for money we already have allocated in the fiscal year 22 budget for projects that we've begun. Won't be able to complete entirely by June 30th. So moving the capital projects allows us to complete the work we're doing in those areas without interruption.
Okay. Madam President, do you have any questions?
No, I don't have any questions on this one. Thank you.
Councilor Abbott?
So are we rid of our mainframe now?
We're so close, and that's one of the things that's funded by this. And as soon as we're ready to retire it, I'd like to have a party with you where we fix it.
Yes, please do. I think I'm as old as that mainframe.
It's, getting rid of it will
We've been
save-
talking about getting rid of it the whole 20 years I've been here. So we
have
still,
one remaining application that we're trying to archive, and then we'll have that party, and I will celebrate with you.
yes, well, that'll be good. We ought to take it out in the street and use that robot that we bought from the federal government to blow it up. It's a demonstration plan. Okay, thank you very much.
Okay, Councilor Clark, do you have anything? Okay, there's been a motion and a second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, the item passes. Thank you. The next Budget and Finance Committee meeting will be on Monday, April 11th at 3:30 p.m. right here in the council chambers. Is there a motion to adjourn?
I move for adjournment. Second.
All in favor say aye.
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 Okay, that ends the Budget and Finance meeting.